A second preliminary hearing by the inquiry into the early retirement of the Commissioner of Police, McGrail, was held at the Garrison Library. Parties were invited to submit short statements of alleged factual positions. Acting for Mr McGrail, Barrister Adam Wagner said that in May 2020, the Royal Gibraltar Police moved to execute a search warrant against a subject in Operation Delhi, an investigation into alleged hacking and sabotage of the National Security Centralized Intelligence System, and into an alleged conspiracy to defraud a private company which was operating the system. He claimed the Chief Minister had a close relationship with the subject of the investigation, who indirectly owned part of the company at the heart of Operation Delhi, and stood to gain financially from the alleged fraud. He said the Chief Minister, as a partner of Hassan's, also owned part of the same company, and therefore also stood to gain from the alleged fraud. Mr Wagner said on the same day that the search warrant was executed, the Chief Minister and Attorney General called McGrail into a meeting, berated him for the intervention, and accused Mr McGrail of acting improperly. 2 days later, said Mr Wagner, the Chief Minister privately messaged Nick Pyle, the Governor at the time, and they then met to plan for the Gibraltar Police Authority to remove the Commissioner from his post. On the 5th of June, said Mr Wagner, Mr Pyle told Mr McGrail he was considering using his powers to call for his resignation. Mr Wagner said this sequence of events was hugely stressful for Mr McGrail and his family, and he was concerned that his pension rights would be affected by a resignation. He said he succumbed to the pressure and chose to retire. But the lawyer acting for the government, the Chief Minister, the Attorney General and the Governor, Sir Peter Caruana KC, said the evidence would show that the Chief Minister's intervention in relation to the subject of the alleged fraud was to ensure that those who may have wished to benefit did not do so, by ensuring that the national security contract remained with the incumbent, Bland, and only with them. He stressed the Chief Minister had never been a suspect in that investigation. Sir Peter said only the Governor had the power to call for Mr McGrail's resignation, and the Commissioner sought early retirement because he knew this would happen. Sir Peter denied and rejected that the Chief Minister had interfered in the criminal investigation described by the Commissioner, and said the Governor's loss of confidence in the Commissioner's probity and integrity had nothing to do with that investigation. Sir Peter went on to cite the reasons for the Governor's loss of confidence in Mr McGrail. These involved his alleged mishandling of an incident in the airfield in February 2017 involving an RAF plane, which he said had brought the relationship between Gibraltar and the MOD to near crisis point, the RGP's handling of an investigation of a severe assault on an RAF pilot in which no one was prosecuted, the hostile relationship between Mr McGrail and the Police Federation, and Mr McGrail's failure to tackle the findings of the HMIC report in 2020. Finally, said Sir Peter, the Governor considered that he had been misled by Mr McGrail through intentional omission in relation to the incident at sea on March the 8th, 2020, in which 2 Spanish nationals died following a collision with an RGP launch, and which touched, very specifically, upon the government's and the Governor's responsibilities for external affairs, namely information relating to the location of the incident. Sir Peter said at no time was the Governor put under any pressure by anyone, including the Chief Minister, to call for the Commissioner's resignation. The substantive hearing, which includes 32 witness statements, will take place over 3 weeks in March.